So has that been confirmed that we're now live streaming? Yes, thank you. So good evening, everyone. I'd like to declare the council meeting on the 23rd of September 2025 opened at 17:32 and would like to advise that the meeting is being live streamed in accordance with the council meetings, live streaming, recording and electronic attendance policy. By being present at this meeting, members of the public consent to the City live streaming and recording and subsequently publishing their voices on the City's website. I'd like to advise that should you experience technical difficulties, I will call for a 2-minute adjournment. After this time, the meeting will recommence. The acknowledgement of country. I first wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that we are on, the Mandurah people, who have met for thousands of years on the shores of these beautiful waterways as we do today. This is Mandurah, meeting place of the heart. Apologies, we don't have any apologies this evening. Important notice. Members of the public are advised that any decisions made at the meeting tonight can be revoked in accordance with the Local Government Act 1995. Therefore, members of the public should not rely on any decision until formal notification in writing by council has been received. Answers to questions taken on notice. I would take that as being read. Amendment to standing orders. Council is requested to resolve to suspend the operation of the following provisions of the City of Mandurah's Standing Orders Local Law 2016 for the duration of this meeting to ensure that Councillor Kearns, Councillor Rogers and Councillor Wright can follow and participate in the meeting as it progresses. Standing Order 7.2, members to occupy own seats while present in the meeting room, relevant only for elected members attending the council chambers. Agree under Standing Orders 8.11 and 12.2 that instead of requiring a show of hands, a vote will be conducted by exception, with the presiding member calling for those members against the motion. If no response is received, the motion will be declared carried and minuted accordingly. And reiterate the requirement as per Standing Order 7.3 for members to advise the presiding member when leaving or entering the meeting at any time. And I'll just ask for a declaration by those councillors who are joining us online. So can I ask that you can confirm that you have the suitable equipment and are in a location that has coverage for adequate remote coverage and would be suitable to deal with a confidential matter if any are raised at this meeting. Councillor Kearns.
Yes, I confirm.
Councillor Rogers.
I can confirm I'm in a suitable location and I have a closed office, so confidentiality can be maintained if we go to that.
Thank you. And Councillor Wright?
I can confirm I'm in a suitable location. Thank you.
Thank you. So can I ask for a mover and a seconder for the item? Councillor Pond and Councillor Smith. Is anyone opposing that? There is not. Okay. It's carried. Thank you. So public question time. We will now move into public question time. Please ensure that your questions relate to the ordinary business of the City, the function of Council or the purposes of this meeting. Please note that this is an opportunity to ask a question only, not additional statements or argument. No additional statements or arguments will be permitted. And during public question time, members of the public are given the opportunity to ask a question of Council. Council will allocate 15 minutes for public question time. And once this time has been exhausted, I may move a motion to extend public question time for a further 15 minutes. The City is committed to ensure fair and equitable access to public question time, and in accordance with the Council policy, each member of the public who wishes to ask a question may ask up to 3 questions. And public question time must be conducted in accordance with the City of Mandurah's standing orders. Questions must not reflect adversely on the integrity of the City of Mandurah, including an elected member, city officer, or another party. Members of the public who have submitted questions in advance of the meeting will be invited to ask their question first. Following this, if time allows, I will invite others to ask questions. And when called forward to ask your question, please begin by stating your name. The City will make every attempt to provide an answer. Where this is not possible, your question will be taken on notice and a written response will be provided to you once the necessary research has been undertaken. And this response will be included in the next council agenda. So I now open public question time at 17:36. And to begin questions, we have question from Barry Sharp and Patricia Ilch, if you'd like to come forward and ask your question.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Patricia Illich. This is my partner, Barry Sharp. And we are here as sort of advocates for the elderly, active members of Mandurah. I assume you are all caring and concerned members who understand the need for elderly residents to remain in their homes, remain in good health, and enjoy the benefits of living in our wonderful Mandurah. To this end, I would encourage you to consider making healthy choices easier for those who wish to remain active and are able to access our finest health facility, i.e. the Aquatic Centre. At this time of writing, there are many different fees.
Patricia, this is public question time. If you could just put your question to the chamber,
I'm
please.
coming to it.
Thank you.
I have to get going. Okay, so at the time of writing and this morning, we play badminton and we would like to play 3 or 4 times a week, but the price is very prohibitive and it costs us $11.50. Now, I can see from the fees that nothing is on the entry fee schedule about badminton at all, so anybody inquiring wouldn't even be able to see it. But we pay $11.50, and that's incredibly expensive for us pensioners. What we would like to ask are 2 things. One, that you consider for any pensioners a concession rate for badminton and some of the others. There are concession rates here, but not for badminton. There's concession rate for the swimming pool, which doesn't cost, that costs an awful lot. Badminton doesn't cost very much for them to produce. So we want a concession rate for badminton, but more important than that, we would like to see, as real encouragement, a free entry to the state, to the facilities for anybody over 75. Absolutely across the board, free entry. Now, that wouldn't kill you because there aren't that many over 75 who want to do that. But those who do, it's extremely important to keep active, and we can't afford an awful lot. So could you consider the 2 things? 1, free entry and concession rates. Now, the concession rates are for some activities, not for badminton.
Thank you for your question. And I will go to the Director of Place and Community.
Thank you for your question, through the Mayor.
Could I just interrupt? I'm a little bit deaf. Could you speak up, please?
Thank you. I understand this question was put to the mark earlier in the week, and that you received a reply from the coordinator of
yes, I have a reply
recreation centres. So the city does base its fees on a cost to deliver the service, because we do incur costs to deliver the service. As you've mentioned, we do have a concession for some activities at the mark, and I'm happy to take on notice an investigation specifically on badminton, but we do schedule in concessions for quite a few of the programs there. For example, entry to the pool, which would normally be $7.70, is $6.10 for a concessional rate for seniors. We also offer a suite of activities through the Seniors Centre, which some of those are subsidised through the membership fee, and we offer a wide variety of free programs from the city through the health promotion plan and events. So I'm happy to take on notice exploring our fees for badminton, and that is a separately listed fee currently in the fees and charges that are endorsed by council, but I can follow that up further.
Okay, I'd just like to comment there that to run a swimming pool is an incredibly expensive exercise. You have to have the attendants there, lifesavers, the chemicals for the pool, the running, the equipment.
I just have to interrupt you there. This is just question time. You've just heard from the Director, but thank you for your question. And
it doesn't cost much for badminton.
Thank you. And she has undertaken to have a look at those costs. So thank you for your question.
Is that it?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
I'd now like to welcome Beth Patterson to the table.
Good evening. Oh, geez. My name's Beth Patterson. And my question is in regards to the election that's coming up, specifically just the mayoral candidates. I'd like to see a debate, a Q&A session, much like this. You'd have the people there, and you can address the citizens here that will be voting on someone to manage a very significant budget. I just find that right now, with it just being paper pamphlets, it's not enough when it's such an important position to be held. And I'd like to know what your thoughts are on that, whether we can even do a hands up of who would participate, the people here that are going for the mayoral candidate, something like that.
Thank you for the question.
Okay.
So in accordance with the Local Government Act, local governments should avoid facilitating debates to maintain impartiality, complying with the caretaker obligations and prevent any perception of bias or misuse of local government resources. However, candidates are permitted to obviously go out and have a debate. So it's really up to the community and the candidates to organise. The local government cannot become involved in doing that.
So like you just read that from the your local government paper. Can you put that in plain English, please?
Because we're in caretaker period, the local government can't be involved in facilitating those kinds of things and using the resources of the local government. However, it doesn't stop candidates or community groups doesn't stop them from asking candidates to come forward and debating, but it's not something that the local government can do.
Oh, okay. How many people that are running for the mayor's position would participate in a...
Unfortunately,
that's another question.
You're not able to ask directly of the councillors, but certainly able to go out as a community member and ask for that to occur within the community.
And who would I address in the community, if not you?
It's up to
you.
It's up
are
to
the
you,
community.
but you can contact the different candidates and ask them if they would be happy to be involved.
Right. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Okay. Now, I presume there are no other questions. So we will close question time at 5:45. Public statements. We don't have any public statements. Leave of absence. Are there any councillors wishing to submit a leave of absence request? No, we don't have anyone wanting to go on leave. Okay, petitions. We have no petitions. Presentations. We have no presentations. Deputations. We have no deputations. Confirmation of minutes. Can I call for a mover and a seconder to confirm the minutes of the meeting held on August the 26th? Can I call for a mover? Councillor Wilkins, Councillor Pond. Is there anyone wishing to vote against that? That is carried. Thank you. Okay, announcements of the presiding member. We don't have any announcements, but I'm just going to take this opportunity, given that this is my last council meeting, just to say a few words. I'm absolutely honoured to have had the opportunity to be the city's mayor, although it's only been for a short period. But rather than reflect on the last few months, I want to talk about the next few as we move forward to the local elections in October. And specifically to ask the question, why? Why would anyone in their right mind stand for local government? It isn't for the money, and it certainly isn't for the fame. The hours are long, the problems are complex, and every decision is placed under a microscope. It can be a thankless task. Increasingly, it's challenging and a stressful task. And as we all know, it's not so much that you can't please all the people all the time, as much as it is, can we just please some of the people occasionally? So why do people want to be councillors? Well, on the whole, people don't do it for themselves. They do it because they believe that their experience, their history can contribute to something that this community can contribute something to this community to make it better. They believe in the power of community, of listening, and of learning, of making decisions that on balance will move the community forward. Without fail, they love this part of the world. They feel a pull, a responsibility to roll up their sleeves and get involved in shaping its future. They have a drive to build, to connect, to improve and to serve. Standing up for office is a fundamental optimistic act. It's a belief that a group of diverse and varied, committed people can and will make a difference. From the Murray District's Road Committee in 1868 to those in this chamber tonight, that is the thread that connects every single person who has served in this council over the last 150 years. Of course, in the heat of an election, it can be easy to lose sight of that. Our election system is combative by design, but it's also one that is purpose-built to recognise that while our disagreements are temporary, our community is permanent. And once the race is run, the focus must be on doing our best to create the best for the people of Mandurah. So I encourage those who are standing in this election to hold on to their why. Treat each other with respect, even when we hold different views. Raise above the noise and focus on what truly matters, the well-being and the future of the people that we are here to serve. When the days are long and the criticism stings, remember that optimistic spark that made you want to stand in the first place. Lead with courage, listen with compassion, and always remember your why. I just want to acknowledge and thank the wonderful staff at the City of Mandurah and the people around this table who have supported me over the past 9 months. It's been an honour and an absolute privilege to serve the community of Mandurah as the Mayor, and I thank everyone here tonight. So thank you. So declarations of interest. Elected members and officers are now asked to declare any real or perceived interest they may have in respect of the report listed for consideration this evening. CEO, have you received any declarations?
Mayor, I've received none.
Thank you. Questions from elected members, of which notice has been given, and we have a question from Councillor Burns.
Without notice? Thank you, Chair. My question relates to the permanent sand bypassing system at the Dawesville Cut and Mandurah Estuary Mouth. In response to question 11 at the May 2025 meeting, minuted in June, the City advised that while no election commitments had been made, a new application under round 3 of the Australian Government's Disaster Ready Fund was submitted in April 2025, and that officers were awaiting the outcome. Could the CEO please provide Council with an update on the status of that application and advise whether there has been any further progress or engagement with state and federal representatives on this important issue?
Thank you, Councillor Burns. I'll go to the Director of Built and Natural Environment.
Through the Mayor, and thank you for the question. The City has not received an outcome from our April 2025 submission. City officers remain in contact with relevant representatives and continue to monitor the progress of the application. We understand the importance of this initiative and are committed to advocating for its advancement. In parallel, City officers have maintained engagement with both state and federal representatives to reinforce the strategic value of a permanent sand bypassing system for the Dawesville Cut and the Mandurah Estuary entrance channel. When an update is available, City officers will ensure that elected members and Council receive that information. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Do we have any other questions from elected members? Councillor Burns.
Thank you, Chair. This question is one of process. I have become aware that the minutes from November 2022, item G 231122, confidential report 2, termination of CEO contract of employment, record me as voting for the motion when in fact I spoke against and voted against it. Those minutes were subsequently and regrettably confirmed at the following meeting. Could the CEO please outline the formal process available to a councillor to have the official record of a past meeting corrected once an error of this kind is identified?
Thank you for the question. To the CEO.
Thank you, Mayor. We have provided you with a direction in how to correct those minutes. That can be through raising a proposed notice of motion today to request for the next council meeting to do so. So it's in line with what we have provided you in an email this week.
Thank you.
Are you able to elaborate further for the benefit of the public?
So through you, Mayor, if that's okay. So as I've said today, in the notice of motion section in the agenda, you can propose that you want to raise a notice of motion to revocate the minutes from that meeting. And then what we will do is we'll work with you to prepare the notice of motion wording.
Thank you. Councillor Burns, do you have a further question?
To further clarify information that was given verbally, does the original motion get redebated confidentially?
For the question, through to the CEO.
Through you, Mayor. So in terms of note, the item does not get debated because that decision was made. It's the minutes that you are asking to correct. So it's the minutes that you'll be requesting to revoke, and then there will need to be a new motion that identifies you voting against the item for council to make a decision on whether they approve that or not.
Thank you. Are there any other councillors with questions? Councillor Shoemaker.
Sorry, through the chair. When we did speak, I didn't have a question, but it's a straightforward one, I believe. With the funding of the $6.344 million for the Western Foreshore and the works over the next 3 years, can we have a breakdown, or is there a breakdown available on where those funds are coming from reserves, and how much is going to be borrowed? So a breakdown of that, please.
Thank you for the question. Through to the CEO.
Thank you, Mayor. I think we have provided that information to elected members, however, in the long-term financial plan. However, I don't have it readily available, and we will make sure that we provide a response in the next agenda for council to review.
Thank you.
Sorry, through the chair, could that come out sooner, because it might not be here?
Thank you for the question. Through to the CEO.
Through Mayor, we will have a look at whether we can do that for you. We just need to go back to the information we provided. Yeah.
So, councillors, are there any other questions, or that's the case? We will now move to Councillor Rogers. Do you have a question? One of the councillors that is online, could you please mute your speaker? Thank you. Business left over from the previous meeting. There is no business left over. Recommendations from committee. We have no recommendations. So we will move to reports. And the report that we have tonight is the monthly financial report. But first we will move to the manager to do the finance presentation.
Thank you. Through the chair, the finance report for August 2025, so we are 2 months into the financial year. Just a quick look at our operating graphs. Operating income is right on budget, with operating expenditure just below budget, which is great to see at this time of year. On the next slide, the capital graphs. Non-operating income, we have only received a little bit so far, but we are expecting more as projects progress throughout the year. Capital expenditure, the expenditure is just below, however, the expenditure and the commitments are above budget, so we are expecting an uptick in the capital expenditure. Our interest that we have saved, next slide. Our interest that we've saved through our loan offset year to date is around $28,000. Term deposit interest is attracting rates of up to 4.1%. A quick look at our rates receivable. August this year we are at 29.2% collected. August 24 we were 5.2% collected. That is because of our due date is a lot earlier this year than it was last year. So we do expect that to level out. However, it is a good start to the financial year. Drilling down a little bit further into that, the properties with over 10,000 outstanding, we did see a sharp decline in that in the second month of the financial year. Again, we should see that level out to pretty much where it was last year. And we see the same thing in the 3,000 to 10,000 properties as well. In the August report, we have no budget variations. And I'll take the tenders as read in the report, but I'll add that the city's procurement team observed the tender evaluation process and is satisfied that the probity and procedural aspects relating to the evaluation were compliant. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we will now move to our one item tonight, the monthly financial report. The council resolution is before you on the screen. Can I call for a mover and a seconder of the item? Councillor Pond and Councillor Schumacher. Councillor Pond.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the officer's recommendation. It's good noting that the operating income and rates and expenditure is about where we would expect it to be at this point in the year, or a little better as far as the rates collected goes. And particularly to see a decline in the outstanding rates is very good. And I commend the motion to my fellow councillors. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Pond. I'll move to you, Councillor Schumacher.
Thank you, Chair. I couldn't agree more with what Councillor Pond said. It's very good, and the rates coming in 22% compared to 5%, and I realise there's a time difference, but it is extremely pleasing.
Thank you, Councillor Schumacher. Is anyone wishing to ask a question? Anyone wishing to speak against the item? That's the case. Is there anyone, I'll put that to the vote. Is there anyone wishing to vote against the item? That is carried unanimously. The next item is motions of which notice has been given. We don't have any motion. The next one is notice of motions for consideration at the following meeting. Does anyone wish to give a notice of a motion that they would like to include in the agenda for the next ordinary council meeting? No? Okay. Late and urgent business items, there are none. Confidential items, there are no confidential items, and that brings me to the close of the meeting, so thank you. Now concludes the meeting. Thank you for your participation. Thank you to those that are joining us online, and I now declare that all business has concluded and close the meeting at 6 o'clock and request that the live streaming be terminated.